You're listening to the Plumbing Company Marketing Podcast, a podcast dedicated to helping your service-based business grow and thrive using the latest technology in internet marketing. And now, here's the host of our show and the CEO of Grow Inc., Matt Law.
All right, everyone, welcome back to another training episode. My name is Matt Law. I'm the CEO of a marketing agency called Grow Inc. that works exclusively with service-based businesses. If you are picking up on this episode and maybe you're doing a little research and you're like, hey, I'm going to just skip ahead or I'm going to go back, I want to encourage you to start at the very beginning, because as we go through this training, I'm going to be referencing things that I started talking about in our very first episode. So a lot of podcasts or trainings people listen to, sometimes they'll go to the oldest one and listen to the newest one. I just want to give you a reminder, you want to start with episode 1 and go all the way through the training. So in this episode, we're going to talk about the marketing arsenal, and one of the things that we use for marketing local businesses, and that's helping companies rank in the local search rankings. And so we're talking about winning with local search marketing. And wouldn't it be great if you could be listed as the number one contractor company for your service in that map section right there at the top of Google? And so the question people ask all the time is, how do I get that number one spot for my service business, like that A spot in the 3-pack? So if you search for contractors near me, whatever your industry is, if you search for contractors near me, there's that local pack. It's in Yahoo, it's in Bing, but it's in Google, which is where most users are looking. And so people say, Matt, how do I get to that A spot? And so they'll go out and they'll get reviews. But sometimes you'll see people or companies or your competitors that are ranking higher than you, and your reviews are higher. So it's not the company that has the most reviews. It's not the age of the company either. So sometimes an older competitor will be up there, but there can also be newer competitors, companies that are younger than yours, that will pop up even ahead of that older company. It is not based on having a nice website. So you will actually see companies with not so nice websites at the top. You can even find companies at the top of there that don't have websites either. So imagine what would happen if you were at the top of that list. How many more calls would you get every single day? So we're talking about local marketing. And in this episode, we're going to tell you how to get to the top of that local search, that local SEO, so that when people search for services near me, they find your company. And so this is the formula that you can use and you can do, and what we do for our clients to help them claim that top spot. And it really isn't the hardest thing in the world. And so I think you're going to really like this information that you hear in this training. So I want to introduce something called NAP, like you're taking a nap in the afternoon. And what NAP stands for is name, company name, the address, and the phone number. Name, address, phone number. If you want to add website to it as well, you could, but the main thing you need to remember is NAP. And so when Google is sharing information locally, they want to make sure they are sharing the most relevant information. And so they want to make sure that if someone is looking for a swimming pool contractor near me, they want to make sure that they are showing a credible option at the top. That means a company that is in business, that has the name is accurate across the website, phone numbers are correct. They want to make sure the information they are sharing is correct, because they want people to continue to use Google so that they can make money in advertising. And so basically, here's what you need to know. The more times you verify your name, address, and phone number in other online directories and create what is called a citation, the more that you do that across the web, and there's other things that go into this, but the more that you do that and you update and make sure your information is correct, the better chances you have at ranking in the local search engines. And even if you don't have an address, so maybe you have a service business that covers an area, even without an address, you can do really, really well. And you can rank well by verifying your name and phone number on the web. So what is a citation? And maybe you've heard this word before. If you've ever been to a website and it's a website that's talking about your company, and somewhere on that site it says, is this your business, or claim this listing? And when you basically go in and you claim that, you update it so the address is correct, the phone number is correct, the website, the hours of the business, and all of the details about the company. And as those are verified across the web, these locations, these citations, some of them are social media accounts. As those are verified and claimed, it basically gives signals to Google that, hey, this company is gone around on all the website, and it's verified their name, address, and phone number, and their website all over. And as you do that, Google says, hey, these are signals that this is a accurate listing. And so one of the key things that Google looks at is the citations being verified. And so you'll be surprised. There's companies that will go out and they will verify all of your name, address, and phone number for you. They will build citations. And obviously, this is a huge service in the world of search engine optimization, but that's called citation building. And so as part of every local search campaign, we are going to build citations and create those in these directories. Sometimes these are paid citations. So sometimes you have to pay money to be in a directory, like Best of the Web. Better Business Bureaus sometimes is another example. But what I will tell you is that we'll add some paid citations, and we'll buy citations that are free, and we'll make sure the client is in there. The other thing that they look for, and so you could go out and do those citations, and that will give you a boost on there. But you also need to make sure that you claim your business in Google Maps. It's basically your business account. And so usually you have to claim it by verifying through the phone or through a postcard. Sometimes they want you to shoot a video of your location. And so you have to claim it. And you want to, whatever your Google address, whatever they give you as your address, that's your legal address, that address is what you want to use on your other citations. And so you've got Google Maps, and then you've got all of these other local places like your Facebook page, your Instagram page. You've got all of your social media accounts that you want to put your name, address, and phone number on there. So you want that to be all correct. But Google Maps, and then obviously Bing, Yahoo, all of these other pages, Yelp, the yellow page ads, all of that, you want to make sure those are updated and correct. So if it sounds like a tedious job, oh my gosh, is it ever tedious? So what we do is we usually just look for the biggest ones, claim those. We want to manage those, make sure those are good in our main marketing account for that client. And then we have developers that will go out and build citations that we've worked with for years, and they will go out and build citations for that. So inside of building citations, I'll tell you a little bit more about this, is that there are what's called aggregates. And you can basically pay $100 per year, and it will go out and it will update all of those aggregates. And so imagine if it's right in one place, what they do is they pass on that information to all the other sites. And so it's like $100 a year. And if you're looking for a way to do that, we use a company called Bright Local, which is brightlocal.com. And you can go there, you can build citations and create aggregates there. They do a great job with that. Social media also plays a big part. So besides claiming your accounts, and put your website and your phone and everything on there. It also, when you share information on there, it's a signal to them that you are a local business that is looking for customers. And so social media sharing, citation building, obviously reviews play a big part in this. And it's not necessarily the best reviews, although good reviews do give you a better chance of ranking. But one thing we found is that every time someone that gives you a review is responding to them, first of all, this is a great thing to do. So if you get a great review, you need to go back and just say, hey, thank you so much for reviewing us. Now, you may not want to go back 10 years, but you may want to go back a couple years or start fresh now by saying, hey, thank you for the kind review. If you have a bad review, you want to ask the people to reach out to you and to talk to them. If the customer is unwilling to help, or it's just a dead deal and they're just going to give you a 1-star no matter what, you want to basically still put that on there like, hey, we tried to work this out with this customer, but they did not respond. And that way people see that. They don't expect your reviews to be perfect, but they do want to see that you are participating. Google likes it when you respond to reviews. And so if you're like, Matt, I didn't even know I could respond to reviews, you have to claim your listing with Google. And so once you claim all of these listings that you have, all right, if people are leaving negative reviews on there, then you can go and be a part. So this is a kind of a time-consuming thing. So we're talking about being involved in social media and sharing on there, claiming all of these citations, claiming your Google account, your Bing and Yahoo and Yelp accounts and things like that. We're talking about buying citations. And then we're looking at all of this data and we're saying, hey, we want to make sure our name, address, and phone number is correct across all of the web. Now, it is a lot of work, and I will tell you that's why we have developers that help us with that, and our consultants will do a few of these just to make sure the structure is integrity. But it's something that takes upwards of 3 or 4 months to do. But once it's done, and once your name, address, and phone number is correct, and you've done all of these things, you're going to see your ranking go up faster and faster and faster until you're just at that one spot. And so a couple of other things that go into this, and I'll give you some of these. Like if you do the main things that I've shared ahead of time, you've done really, really great. But you can also put some code on your website. It's called schema markup. And basically you can say, hey, this is our business. This is our phone number. This is our address. These are our social media accounts. Google will pick that up and they will show that in their knowledge panel for your company. And it also just says, hey, we want Google to know that this information is right. It's called schema markup. It's some code. Most developers should be able to do that. So we do that for our companies as well. And you can also find developers on places like Upwork or Freelancer that will build citations for you. Even on Fiverr, they'll do citation cleanups for you. And usually it's somewhere about $5 to $10 per citation if they're a legitimate, strong citation builder. One other thing I want to put a note in there is that offsite SEO, and like we'll talk about SEO in another episode, but building backlinks to your website, a lot of times people believe that this plays a part in the local rankings. And so I just gave you a ton of information there, like all these things that go into it. And you're like, well, Matt, just tell me what the most important thing is. What do I do? What's the number one thing I do? And here's what I'll tell you. Google doesn't tell us everything. Of course they don't, because if they tell us everything, then people will just go out to do it and game the system. And so Google isn't going to share their algorithm, but there are local SEO experts. And I would consider us to be, myself to be a local SEO expert, to know a lot about building citations. And when you do certain things and you test them out, you can see what works. And so there's insiders in the industry that say, hey, how do we help our clients rank better locally? And so what I would tell you is I would do all of those things that I just shared for your business, and you will see your rankings go up. But I'll give you one more tip on this that will just blow your mind. You know that there is a competitor that you have that is ranked number one. You know who they are. You're probably down 6, 7 on the list, maybe even more. But you know that competitor. Wouldn't it be amazing if you could basically look at all of their citations and then you yourself go duplicate those citations, those directory listings, and then once you've done that, add additional ones. And there's a company called WhiteSpark. Their website is whitespark.ca. They offer a tool that basically allows you to see what other competitors' citations are. And so as part of our process, and I'll kind of walk you through this, we would claim our Google accounts, the Google Maps business. We would then go make sure we get that updated, reviews cleaned up, all of that. Make sure the address, phone number, everything's legit and set up. Then we're going to go out and we're going to verify all social media accounts, claim those, put on addresses and phone numbers. We're going to buy citations and put ourselves in directories. We're going to submit to the aggregates and keep everything updated using Bright Local. Start using social media, add schema markup to our website. Then we're going to go back to Whitespark and we're going to find our competitor citations, get our developers to build citations for that, build links as part of our overall marketing strategy. And here we do all of that. And then in a matter of time, you will get to the very, very top. And so, Matt, that's a lot of work. It takes a lot of effort to do that. But here's the beautiful thing. Do you realize how much revenue can be generated from that position? So local search, is one of the most impactful, most important things that we do. And we spend a lot of effort with clients to get them to that number one spot. So it's super important to do this. And I'll just tell you, if you're just getting started, I would start with Google Maps and just kind of give you some suggestions. Start with Google Maps, all your social media accounts. Go to Whitespark and get order citations there. Go to Bright Local and order some citation cleanups. You can spend money on it. That will help you right off the bat. And then make sure your reviews are clean. That is a short method, but that's some of the best things you could do for your business right away. So some questions that we get is, can I build too many citations? And no, you really can't. But what we suggest is building citations that are the highest valued. And so in Bright Local, they'll tell you what are the most important citations and make sure you have those. You can kind of go through that checklist and do that. I would also build citations that your competitors have, because if they're ranking higher than you and they have a citation, then you want to go ahead and grab that listing. So what does this cost compared to other SEO services is another question people ask. And what I'll tell you is it's you probably could get someone that's really good at local SEO to do it for maybe $500 a month. I don't know that I've seen, and I'm just being super honest here as an agency owner and someone that's offered SEO as well, 12 years ago. I don't see a lot of companies that know how to do local SEO very well. And so if you take my training that I just gave you and just kind of what you learned in this, most of them for that $500 aren't even going to do all these things. And so I would be involved in saying, hey, we need to get these things done a little bit better. But for a few $100s a month, you could generate hundreds of phone calls and website visitors a year. So the ROI is really, really good. I just find most businesses don't even know about this. Most service businesses don't do it. But this is part of all of our campaigns that we do. So in our last episode, we were talking about this welcome package. A local search is something that we do for every single service business client that we have. They're like, hey, I don't want to do it. I'm like, no, we're doing it. Too bad. This is a must do, because you can double and triple revenues by doing SEO, pay-per-click, and just a few of the marketing strategies we're going to talk about once we share in our free book. But the marketing strategies we're talking about in this training, you can double and triple your revenues if you do these. So it's this important, guys. So as we kind of wrap up our training on local search, this is about the name, address, and phone number, the NAP, getting those correct, and you will rank higher in the map section of Google, that A, B, and C spot on there. If you build citations, which are various directory listings, claim them, claim your social media accounts, make sure your Google Maps is clean, find your competitor citations, be active in social media, be active with your reviews. And if you just basically take time to verify your company's information is correct across the web, you will see an increase in your local rankings. And it doesn't take too long. Within 2 or 3 months, you can really, really increase your rankings. So as we close out, just want to remind you, if you're listening for the first time, you can go to growinc.com/start. You can request our free contractor marketing blueprint. It's for service businesses. It's 100 pages, and it spells out everything we do to help service businesses grow. You can get the book in digital format or whatever favorite reader you have. So if you want to read it on your iPad, or if you want to read it on your Android device, you can do that. You can also read it on your Kindle. We have an audio version of it as well, so you can listen to it when you're out and about driving. Lastly, we give you a checklist for all of our various tools that we suggest, like we did on our episode. And we also give you a checklist for the DIY plan. You say, Matt, that's really generous just to give away this stuff for free. You're just helping businesses. Obviously, that's our goal. Like I love entrepreneurship. I love working with service businesses. And here's what I know: by helping enough people get where they want to go, some people are going to say, hey, Matt, I don't have time to do all this. We want to hire you to do it. And that's how we get clients. So it works that way. So I hope that you enjoy these free resources, and they're super helpful. In our next training, we are going to talk about search engine optimization. So in this training, we talked about local maps optimization. It's called local search. This is different. We're going to be talking about how to rank in the organic section of Google. And I'm going to tell you how you can rank number 1 for every single keyword. And it's not hard. It doesn't take a lot of time. So we're going to talk about on-site SEO. We're going to talk about off-site SEO, website speed, and a lot of other things. I hope that you join us. Thanks for tuning in today and learning more about local search. And we'll see you on the next episode.
Thanks for listening to the podcast today. We hope you found today's episode helpful and informative. For more information about Grow Inc. and to request our free marketing blueprint ebook and other resources, please visit www.grow.inc. That's GRO.inc. We'll catch you in the next episode.